Som gent del barris, som la força Lleida, l'orgull de la ciutat, l'equip dels nostres cors. Hem tornat a la saber, però hem vingut per quedar-nos. I gent del barris per explicar-ho. Força Lleida, visca Trinidad i Tobago. Força Lleida, visca Trinidad i Tobago. El gat comença molt sorprès de l'abril. El Jaume ens fa la crònica del partit. El Juanal, l'altaveu del barris nord. El Quim ens explica el seu quadern de viatge i després torna amb el femení. El Calfa amb la calfa prèvia i la base amb els amics de Naios. I el Xevi el verso libre sempre de festa. La cova d'en Morell ens apropa el millor del partit. Mentre el departament d'atracaments busca foto pels sortejos. El xat del personal es descollona. Les anècdotes de l'Albert flueixen amb les estadístiques del Jaume. Mentre el Juanal i el Cau fa la seva bola. El Geri rebateja amb patrocinadors i el Quim amb el seu quadern. Som gent del barris, som la força Lleida, l'orgull de la ciutat, l'equip dels nostres cors. Hem tornat a la saber, però hem vingut per quedar-nos. I gent del barris per explicar-ho. Força Lleida, visca Trinidad i Tobago. Saludats, coneguts, amics, mecenes i patrocinadors, gràcies per acompanyar-nos en aquest viatge. Ens ho passarem bé, encara que ens deixem el fetge. Risoteràpia per un tubo dels soldats d'encuentre. Som cavall guanyador, tot i que el port no es paga per tot. Tenim mites i ferrars a cada i no ajuda. Som gent del barris, som de Força Lleida, l'orgull de la ciutat, l'equip dels nostres cors. Hem tornat a la saber, però hem vingut per quedar-nos. I gent del barris per explicar-ho. Força Lleida, visca Trinidad i Tobago. Força Lleida, visca Trinidad i Tobago.
Molt bona tarda, gent del barris. Estem aquí amb el Cameron Krutwig, un dels jugadors de la primera plantilla i un dels herois d'aquell màgic ascens a Madrid el juny de l'any 2024. Un jugador que, tot i la seva joventut, té una trajectòria molt interessant al darrere, l'anirem descobrint al llarg dels següents minuts, i un jugador que, tot i haver passat pocs mesos, perquè en global faria poc més d'un any, que ha estat aquí a Lleida i al Barris Nord més concretament, doncs ja gairebé és una d'aquestes figures icòniques de la nova etapa del Força Lleida a la seva, un dels homes de confiança de Gerard Encuentra i un dels jugadors que de ben segur més alegries ha donat a l'afició bordeus al llarg dels últims anys. Per tant, doncs ja el saludarem, ja que el tenim aquí amb nosaltres. Good afternoon, Cam.
What an introduction, man. I didn't understand much, but what an introduction.
It's an absolute pleasure to have here with us today in our home in Barris Nord. I was explaining people that it's an interesting interview, and not only to know you as a player, because we know some aspects of your game, but also as a person, as a human being, as a citizen of the world. And I don't want to be too optimistic about Lleida, because we people here love it too much and normally put in a higher level than the other people do. But how does it feel to be back on your second home?
Yeah, no, it feels good, man. It feels good to be back. Obviously 2 years ago, a lot of great memories with that team, and then last year being away and then coming back now, it feels good. It feels normal. You know, there's all the same places I would go. They're still there, everything. You know, me and my wife are are comfortable here. So it's an experience that I haven't really had going back and playing at the same club that you've played at before. You know, like going into the year, there's like no questions. You know, what is my apartment going to look like? You know, because every year normally it's like new. You know, for most guys on 1-year deals. So no, it's good to be back, and it feels like home for sure.
Because it seems that you have like a big legacy here, but you only stayed here less than a year.
Yeah, right.
It's amazing.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, well, we were able to do some crazy things that year. Obviously, promote to ACB, and I still keep in contact with a couple of those guys from the team, and everyone's kind of off, you know, in their own path. But it was a great team and a great, like you said, I was only here less than a year, but definitely feels good to be back.
It is impossible to think about your figure here in Lleida without thinking about the year of the promotion. And you had the particularity that you arrived here as a market opportunity, and you left here like 10, 11 months later. I don't know if to say as a legend or as a hero, but as a very, very important player in the short history of the club.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, you know, when I was a rookie, I started in Belgium. And I played okay, right? You know, I was a rookie learning Europe and the system and everything. And then my second year, I went to Asia. I played in Japan and Philippines. I played in Philippines first, then into Japan. And I played all right. It's just a different style there. And I joined the team late in December. I went to Japan in December, and I didn't, you know, play great, but I was learning. You know, it was my second year. So then after that, it was kind of like, you know, where do I go? You know, so I ended up kind of trusting in myself. I wanted to come back to Europe to play. But, you know, I had just come from Asia, and to make the jump from Asia to Europe and back and forth it's difficult. You know, it's difficult because, one, it's, you know, the European clubs here, I wouldn't say look down on Asia, but it's just a different game style. It's less intense. It's more, you know, focused on the import guys. So coming back, jumping over, you know, I didn't really have many opportunities other than Betis. So, you know, I was telling my agent, you know, let's do it. You know, let's go to Betis. And then, you know, 2 months into that, it was crazy. With crazy situation there. The club was kind of, you know, didn't have a lot of money, had some problems. They fired the coach, new owner, crazy stuff. And then I was, you know, hey, sorry, but we're gonna let you go. We're gonna move on. So then there was like a 2 or 3 week period of like, I don't have anything going for me. I don't have a job. I just got cut. Like, and I was playing pretty well too. Like the coach was telling me, you know, hey, look, like you're playing really well. We wanted to keep you, but it's just out of my control. And then I remember having an offer from a team in Portugal. And then from Lleida, and talking with Gerard. I was talking with the coach in Portugal, and, you know, it was, you know, hey, we like your game, yada, yada, yada type of thing. And then I was talking with Gerard, and, you know, Gerard's English at the time, Gerard's English got a lot better now. Yeah. But his English back then wasn't like great. So it was like a very broken conversation between me and him. And I left that conversation thinking like, I don't know this, because, you know, I had this other opportunity in Portugal, and but I'm happy I decided to come here, and happy, you know, talking through it with my agents and stuff. They said, you know, Lleida, you guys needed a big man. You know, it just kind of worked out, and then came here, and I think our first game was against first game I played
here at home.
No, first game was Coronia, away.
Okay, yeah, away.
12-hour bus ride.
Yeah.
You know, crazy. And we lost by whatever. We lost that one pretty good. And I think it was like we were 2-4 or so, or something like that. And it was kind of like, I just joined this team. We're not doing really well. And then it just kind of from there just went like that. And it was a really good experience. Kind of the first time that I kind of like found myself as a player in Europe, you know, so it's definitely a special season.
because in that moment that you had to choose between Portugal and Lleida, which was the aspect that made you like go for Lleida? Because you've told, for example, that Gerard English wasn't very good, so he couldn't with the speech
Express,
like
right. Yeah.
convince you. So what did?
Well, I think the Leb was a league that I like wanted to prove myself in. I wanted to show that I could play in that league, and you know, making that jump, like I said, from Asia to back to Europe. I wanted to show that, you know, to me it would have looked bad if I came for 2 months, I didn't make it, I had to jump to another league, you know. So I wanted to kind of to prove myself, show myself in Spain that I could play, and obviously Lleida, between the Portuguese league and the Leb, I felt that, you know, the Leb would be better suited for me. So, and I was talking with my agents and stuff, kind of the aspects of both leagues and everything. So decided to come here, and it was a good choice.
I have the stat here of your first game in Barris Nord, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and like the general feeling, I was here, was that you had arrived in the perfect place for you, the perfect system, and the perfect teammates. I don't know if you felt like in the first weeks also like this.
Yeah, who is that against? Castillo, I think? Or,
yeah, it could be.
I remember
Castillo,
that. I remember my first game here. I remember during that game, it was a couple times we were playing a lot, like with me outside and things, and I made a couple passes for layups or whatever, and they called timeout, or we had won the game, and it was kind of like in the last 4 or 5 minutes we were up by a lot, and you know, Lobo comes up to me, he's like, we don't really have not played with a big man that can like pass like that, so that's why we're getting used to it. And I thought, like, okay, these guys trust me a little bit to let me play and kind of play with me. So that was kind of a cool moment for me. Just kind of like, and I'd only been on the team for, you know, one and a half, 2 weeks. So to get that trust from them was good.
And what particularities have Gerard's system that make you suit this well as a playmaker?
No, I think, you know, he gives freedom. He's not one of these coaches that is going to be like, you know, run this, run this, run this, run that, run this. So as a player, you start to develop, you know, different ways of seeing the game and playing the game. I think, you know, we had Rafa, and Kenny was kind of more of like the dominant ball handler. But, you know, Rafa played without the ball a lot. So that helped me. And then between those two, we had Nacho as well, who could create and do some things. So I think just the blend of guys, the blend of players was like you said, it was just a good match, you know.
And we've talked about the team, about the manager, we'll talk about later about the atmosphere. But I want to talk to you about your teammates, because it's not always easy to like enter and be in a good shape in a locker room that is already made with hierarchies and relations between the players. But it felt that the whole team, each other, like it was the perfect puzzle between the 12 players. Yeah,
I mean, I think that has to do a little bit with the type of guys that they're, you know, I guess you could say recruiting or signing here at the club. I mean, even this year, we have got really good guys in the locker room, really, you know, down-to-earth guys, no egos, no, you know, selfish guys or anything like that. And it was the same 2 years ago as well, like just, you know, people welcoming, accepting, joking around, having fun. You know, I think that's a big component of a good team, you know, being able to connect with each other off the court just as well as on the court. So yeah, that was big. And like you said, kind of joining late, I never really felt like I was an outsider coming here 2 years ago. You know, a lot of the guys on the team were very welcoming. We would go out, get coffees, go for food, things like that. So that really made it easier.
You talked before about like this erratic start with only 2 wins in the first 6 games, but then you also mentioned that from that moment on, like you kept only improving and playing better. At the final part of the season, you had that feeling as a team that we are like directly into the promotion. We are in a state of form that it's very, very difficult to beat us.
Yeah, I think Man, I think we played Gipuzkoa, and we lost, pretty
there?
bad. I think we played 3 games that week, and we had won the first 2, and then we played Gipuzkoa, and we lost pretty bad. And, you know, we had won a lot of games up until then, so to lose like that was kind of bad feelings. And then from there on out, I think we won every single game we played. And if you look at like the last half of the season, the last round of the season, I think we were the best team. We went, you know, whatever, 17-1, I think. Or lost to
like
Coronia,
this.
16-2 or something like that. So for me, that was like kind of one of the things that I'm most proud of the team from that year. Like we were the best team in the last round, and like going into the playoffs and the Final Four and things, it was kind of like, Lleida's not really going to win, you know, because they're good, but you're not the bigger teams in the league, you know. And we proved them wrong, but we also showed that, okay, we were the best team. We were playing the best basketball, and we stuck through it, and we ended up, you know, promoting. So that was cool.
You arrived in that final phases of the league, not as an outsiders, but as you said, not as the favorites.
For sure.
Did you expect to be to win with so much superiority in the quarterfinals, not in the semifinal, but also in the final?
Yeah, I think you know, we had just played Alicante, if I remember. I got a good memory. We had just played Alicante in the last home game of the year, or like the second to last, or something very close.
And there were the quarterfinals also against
and then
Alicante.
we played Alicante in the quarterfinals. So we had beaten them in the regular season to end the regular season. So we had good feelings, you know, about the matchups and things like that heading into the playoffs. And you know, we got the first 2 at home, obviously, and we won those, and then took care of business away, and then we had a big break, and you know, we just kept the rhythm, kept the pace, and it was good. We just kept winning.
And in the semifinals against Burgos, was there any moment that you thought, well, maybe the dream today is over?
No, I don't think so. I think pretty much throughout the whole year, we had a belief as a team, and as, you know, obviously the fans and everybody had that belief that we were a good enough team to go and win it all. I think, you know, I think Kenny brought a lot of that. Like Kenny was really, you know, even, not too high, not too low, and that really helped us as a team. He was a great leader for us. But we also had other guys. Javi Vega was, you know, kind of a guy that always kept it funny, kept it light, but he could be serious when you needed him to be. And yeah, the team just kind of meshed, and we just, you know, whether we were down 10 or up 10, we kind of had the same mentality, and that really helped us in some games, especially in that Burgos game where it was kind of, you know, up 3, tied, down 3, tied type of thing. So yeah, we had a really good mentality.
And on that final game, I remember looking at I will not say it, like at the score sheet, and you were like 21-52 maybe in the final. People were in disbelief, like fans from Lleida, like we've come to Madrid and we are winning, like we're not even halfway and we are winning by 30. I don't know, from the inside we've talked about this with Rafa, with other players from that team, but I don't know, it's maybe like the best part of the whole year, that match.
Yeah, I mean, like the first 5 minutes of that game, it was like 14-2 or something like that, and then from there, you know, it hit halftime and we're up whatever it was. You're just hoping that, you know, the third quarter goes by real quick, you know, like just get the third quarter over with, so that, you know, if you're up by whatever 25 or 30 going into the fourth, you're going to win the game. You know, I guess that in the back of my mind there was like a little like, all right, don't let them come back. Like this would be bad if we let them come back into the game. So, but like I said, we had the mentality all year to keep playing and playing the right way. So, yeah, it was just kind of a great end to the season.
Was the best year of your career so far?
That year? Yeah. I mean, that was my 3rd year playing. Like I said, it was kind of the year where I kind of found myself in Europe a little bit, and you know, able to, you know, kind of showcase what I can do. So definitely the best year so far.
And after the season is over, you get the promotion, you celebrate it here in Lleida, in the streets, everywhere. And then the next weeks, the next month, how do you pass them until you make a decision to not continue here in Lleida?
Yeah, well, about midway through the season, I'd actually signed an extension to play here for the next year.
Yeah, I remember.
And in that extension, I had put in if we won, that I would
Stay.
continue on, and because this was in like March, like or around there, because we had won like maybe 8 or 9 games in a row, and we were sitting in like 3rd or 2nd or so, 4th, and I was like, we could win. I believe in this team, and we could win. So I had my agents put that in there, and we did. And then obviously after the season we won, and so then it's like, then it was kind of on the club to, with me to, if they want me or not. And I understand, like, and I talked with Gerard about this as well, like making that jump from Leb to ACB, it's tough. Like you've got to change your whole structure. You've got to, find money. You've got to, they didn't want to rush into any decisions, especially with me taking up the American slot, the non-EU spot. So it just didn't work out, and I hold no bad blood, and I talked with Gerard this offseason about it, and we're cool. It wasn't anything like we don't believe in you as a player or anything like that. It was just they needed the extra slot to make the team that they wanted to make and make sure they were going to be competitive, and I understood it. So no bad blood there or anything. Just kind of unfortunate how it worked out, but. I'm back. So in hindsight, it wasn't that big of a deal, and it worked out for everybody.
So I understand that like you waited for that offer, and there was a certain point that the club said, we can give you what we think that you deserve, so better look for another option.
Yeah, well, I had it written in the contract that it was like once we won, I was on the team for next year, and then. There was a certain date where it was like they had to tell me, and the date came and they said, we're sorry, but we just, they didn't have signed anybody yet, really. I think they might have signed Rafa, a couple guys, maybe Uri, but like they had signed only Spanish guys, and it was becoming time for me, like, the market was moving now, guys are signing, I had to say, hey, like, is it yes or no? Because if not, I got to find another team, So, like I said, it worked out for everybody, and it was handled fine. On my end, on their end, there was, like I said, no bad blood for sure.
You played last season in Palencia, but here in Lleida, in ACB, we had a tough year, especially in the position of the center. Was there any moment that the club approached you to make an offer or try to convince you to come here on this project?
Yeah. I would say like around November or so, or around then. I can't really remember. There was talks with my agent and the club, saying, hey, we kind of want you to come back. They had some injury, or they didn't.
Yeah, and some pieces didn't end up.
Right. But I had already committed to Palencia. If Palencia said, hey, fine, you can go, fine. But they obviously didn't. And I wasn't going to try to, force my way out or burn a bridge with them. I really enjoyed my time there in Palencia. Like you said, great fans. And the organization is good there. So I was happy there. And I wanted to fulfill my commitment to Coach Gill and everybody in the city there and play the year out. But yes, if they would have said, sure, Cam, you can go play ACB, I would have said, okay. But they didn't, and it wasn't going to be, I wasn't going to try to force my way out of anywhere. So that's just kind of how it worked out.
So before this Cameron that arrived here as an opportunity in Lleida and then left, as I said, as a legend, there was a long path before. I was reading about you, and I read that your older brother, Conrad, also played college at South Dakota. Was he inspired you to play basketball? You come from a basketball family, or when you are 6-7 foot tall, is your logical choice.
Yeah, I think for me, watching my brother play when I was younger was always kind of inspiration for sure. I can remember being, like 7, 8, 9, 10. He's 8 years older than me, so I can remember going to his games, his high school games, a couple of his college games, and just kind of being around basketball my whole life. My family is obviously with my brother playing at the level that he played at. I was kind of always there watching or always around. So it just kind of put basketball in my hand all the time. So just kind of naturally throughout my life, just basketball has just been kind of a part of my identity and just been playing for a long, long time.
So your older brother, in some way, inspired you, but
sure.
Also, reading about you in your first stages, you received more than 20 scholarships offers before committing to Loyola Chicago, or this is at least what they say about you. So you were an interesting prospect since the beginning.
Yeah, no. In college, in high school, I was big. There's different levels in college. There's what you call low major, mid major, and then high major. And the college system is kind of tough for people in Europe to understand, and I understand it. But I like I said, I had a bunch of offers, but none from the biggest schools. I was kind of deemed like a mid-level player.
Okay.
As far as the type of colleges that were saying, hey, we want you to come play here. So that always kind of fueled me a little bit. Pretty much people saying, we don't really think you could play at the highest levels, because I am a little undersized. If I was 7 feet tall, it'd be different, but
yeah,
I'm not 7 feet tall, So that always kind of fueled me, and then just found a good spot at Loyola, close to my home, and everything just kind of worked out.
And there you developed a really good basketball talent, but also a very good musical talent.
Yeah.
You have a hidden talent that we don't know here in Lleida, that is that you play the harmonica.
A little, not crazy. I wouldn't call it a talent. I would just call it's a hobby, a little bit of mine. I could play some songs, but not I don't know, if you put music in front of me, I couldn't play, but I could play a song or two for sure.
But you had a group, a band.
It was a teammate of mine.
Yeah.
He somewhat played the saxophone. My buddy's actually coming to visit. The same guy from the picture that you saw, he's coming to visit for the Madrid game.
Okay.
So he was a teammate of mine in college. We just kind of messed around and played some stuff, but no, I wouldn't call it a talent. I would just call it a hobby.
You still good friends with him?
Yeah, talked with him a lot. He's one of my better friends from college that we still keep in contact with. So yeah, he's coming out here for the first time. So I'm excited to show him around Lleida and show him around Spain a little bit. So
not this talent, but this ability. It's something that I guess that people in the locker room don't know about you, or you've showed them.
No. I don't know if they know, but I've said that before that I could play, but it's not like I could play that good.
Is there any hidden talent that you have apart from basketball?
No, I wouldn't say.
No?
No, I'm not musically gifted very much. I like to sing, but not not good. So.
And then on these first stages of your careers, also I was reading that in Loyola you helped to get them to a rare Final Four stages, because I think that they have you in a really good appreciation there, because it was one of the best seasons of their whole history. Is like that?
Yeah, I mean, very similar to the vibes from 2 years ago. Kind of like underdog team. Not really, not a favorite type of thing. And we had a really good team, same thing, good chemistry, move the ball well, that type of stuff. We had a really good coach as well. And it was just kind of like the same thing. We just kind of surprised some people and started playing really good basketball, and ended up finding our way into the Final Four and playing. So that was a really good experience to be so young. And to do that was, kind of made me realize that, basketball could be a serious thing for me. Okay, to play in college is great, but probably when that happened and I was, playing well and kind of, contributing at that level is when I really kind of started to feel like, okay, maybe I could play basketball for like a career, and that kind of hit me around then, where it's like, okay, I got to start maybe taking this more serious and everything like that.
So it's like a very important part, a decisive part in your career, those college years that
For sure.
make you pass from a hobby to a prospect in professional terms.
For sure. I mean, college is another world. The resources, the time that you put in and everything, it's, if you're super serious about it, you can use it to your advantage, with the weight room, the coaches. I mean, on my staff in college, we had six assistant coaches.
Oh.
One head coach and 5 or 6 assistant coaches.
More than here, maybe.
Yeah. More than most teams in Europe. So like, whenever you wanted rebounding, whenever you wanted skill work, whenever you wanted to lift, you could lift, that type of stuff, and that kind of, ingrains good habits into you, and you start, developing as a player, and as your body starts to develop more and everything. So I really took some good steps in college for sure. Every player does, but then it's that next jump from college to the next level that really, you know what I mean.
I think that is a thing in common with James, with Thomas last year, and with Corey also this year, that you've all mentioned those college years as a very important stage on your career, and I think that it's difficult for us to understand, because here we have a very different system. But I think that it's true. I've also read, you have to tell if it's true or not, that you had a nickname that was King Krut.
Yeah, at Loyola, that's what they used to call me a little bit. So we had my freshman year, we had 2 Camerons on the team. So they would just start calling me by my last name, Krutwig.
Yeah.
And that was a little too long. So my coach would just call me Krut, Krut. And that's, when I go around Loyola now, that's all anybody calls me, and that's just kind of a name that stuck. But, so yeah, that's for sure. That's true.
Yeah, this is a serious level. It's really good. And after,
more for the fans though. More for like the fans of Loyola. The guys on the team would just call me Krut though. Yeah.
You have come back to Loyola after those years?
Yeah. Last when I was playing in Asia, when I went from Philippines to Japan, I had to go home to get a visa situation. Yeah. So I was home for like 3 weeks, and I went to a game or 2. And then every summer, I live in Chicago, so every summer I go up, I do like all my workouts and stuff up there at school. So yeah, still connected with the coach there as well, Coach Valentine. He's been coaching there now since I've been gone for like 4 or 5 years. And so yeah, still very connected with the university and the program.
And then after that 4th season, you announced that you would not use that year of eligibility, and you presented for the draft, I think in 2020, more or less.
2021.
2021.
Yep.
Was it the right choice for you?
I think so. I didn't really want to go back to school. I had gotten my degree. I felt that, in college there was not much more for me to do, as far as, we had just come off making the NCAA tournament again, and I was player of the year in my conference. So, and I didn't really want to go somewhere else other than Loyola. So, to me, I just felt, let's go overseas and start my career and start trying to, figure out European basketball. And I think it was smart, because like there's always that amount of time where you first start playing as a rookie, like where you got to figure things out. It's not the same as college. Everyone will tell you that. So that period to figure things out, instead of doing it 1 year later, I did it 1 year earlier. Okay. And I think that helped me for sure.
And then you said you had no problem for going overseas to Belgium, I think, and then you mentioned it before, to Japan and to Philippines. You don't have any big problem to go to exotic places.
No. I mean, Belgium was good. It's a good league for rookies. You see a lot of guys, first year guys, go to that league, the B-Next league, and it was good. It was tough. It was physical. It's a good taste of European basketball. So that was good experience for me, as far as just like the game's just different, right? When you look at American basketball versus European basketball, college basketball specifically, it's just different than European basketball. So that helped me kind of, start to learn a little bit how it goes. So that was a good experience.
And between all these places, let me keep America out of this equation, but between Japan, Philippines, the south of Spain, the north of Spain, here in Catalonia, where have you felt better, with the culture, with the people, with the food? With everything?
Yeah, I mean, I like Spain, obviously. I think a lot of guys will tell you that have played around. It's tough to beat Sevilla, man. I was living there for 2 or 3 months, and it was nice. In the summer,
yeah.
Towards the, not like the summer, but towards the end. Yeah. No, that was really, really nice. The city there is beautiful, and everything. Every day was sunny. I'll walk out of practice, take a walk, go out. So that was really cool. And then I've been around Spain a lot. I've been to a lot of Spanish cities, especially in the LEB, in the ACB. Obviously in Catalonia, Asturias, all those little kind of cities. So yeah, I really enjoy Spain. I can't see myself really playing anywhere else right now. In the next couple years. So as long as there's a team in Spain that will have me, I'll keep playing. Playing here.
Talk later about your future. Just shortly, we'll talk a lot about your first year here in Lleida, about the beginnings of your career, but also as Cameron, as a citizen of the world, how would you define you?
Man, that's a heavy question.
It's the toughest one.
Yeah. No, I think I'm pretty lighthearted, pretty try not to take anything super serious. Try to kind of always give yourself grace and kind of look at everything through reality. Try to address every situation the realest way you possibly can. Try to tell the truth, be honest. I think that's a big thing. Honesty is big for me. And, just try to get along and be a good person, and good things will be done to you. So that's kind of my motto. Yeah.
Also, a lot of people, that I have talked with them about you, tend to mention the mustache. That is one of your trademarks. It's like that.
Yeah, a lot of guys say that. When I was a senior in college, I did that because it was COVID. It was COVID times, and I don't know. During COVID, I grew this really, really bad mustache, and I just kind of kept it for the whole year. And yeah, I mean, some people are, you should bring it back. You should bring it back. It's not coming back for a while, but no, it's just something fun to do. During COVID, it was, there were no fans at the games and things like that, so it was just kind of like a locker room thing to kind of just be funny and. Yeah, and then it kind of stuck. We started winning games, and kind of people started, the mustache. Yeah. So, but no, it was just something fun.
You are also a good fan of the NFL.
Yeah. Chicago Bears are playing real well this season, man. It's been good.
Is it difficult to follow them here in Spain for the maybe the time when they play?
No. The games are normally at 12 p.m. back home, so here that's 7.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. It's perfect for me. It's usually on Sundays. So yeah, big NFL guy, big Chicago Bears fan. And we got James, who's a Packers fan. So that's a big rivalry. So yeah, we've been talking a little. We play each other this week actually. Bears Packers. It's Sunday at 10 o'clock.
You will play this season.
Yeah,
okay.
we play.
This weekend, sorry.
Yeah, this weekend. So we've been talking a little smack back and forth to each other. But yeah, me and John are both pretty big Bears fans. So talking with him and things like that, it's been fun. The Bears are finally good, So it's been a great season for us, and it's not over yet.
Talking about your style as a player, also, you are kind here in the last years of an uncommon center, no? Because you have that good vision, that role, as I said before, as not only as a finisher but also as an organizer of the team. it has been always like this? It's part of the evolution of your game?
I mean, when I was playing in high school, you know, like 15, 16, 17, yeah, I could always pass. I don't know if it was like if I developed it or not, or just kind of instinctual, but I'd always been able to like pass the ball pretty well and get teammates involved. You know, I've had coaches tell me like, hey, you're a little too unselfish. You know, like my high school coach was, or not my high school coach, my college coach a lot, Porter Moser, he would say all the time, you need to score more, you need to, you know, and he was probably right. You know, I would sometimes, maybe younger in my career, would rather pass and see one of my teammates score than me score. To me, that was more like, I don't know, gratifying. That was more special. So I'd always had that ability to pass. And then in college, it got better, you know, like I was able to make better reads and things. And then obviously developing more into the professional and in Europe and things, it's just been getting, you know, been developing it more and more and more. So, yeah.
I also always had that impression that you enjoy more like assisting, delivering than scoring
for sure.
for yourself. Joaquín Prado, when you came back for your second stage here in Lleida, during your presentation, he said that one of your biggest quality, if not the biggest one, is that you make better the teammates around you. Do you feel like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, as a big, you kind of got to be like a connector. Like, you know, I'm setting every screen, you know, no, I mean, mostly in modern basketball and European basketball, the 5-man sets most of the screens. So, you know, you got to set a good screen to get guys open. You know, if you don't set a good screen, the offense is going to be stagnant, right? We're not going to create any advantage. So that right there, like, they don't have a stat for good screens or, you know, screen set or anything like that. So that's something where you gotta kind of take that upon yourself as a center. Like, I gotta go, I gotta set screens, I gotta roll, you know what I mean? So like that act right there is can change a game. You know, like you can make the team way better if you're a great screener. So that's something that like I try to focus on and try to be the best I can be at setting screens and kind of like creating space for guys. You know, it just depends on different stuff. And then you know, obviously with passing and things like that, being able to, you know, get guys open or whether it's a skip pass or backdoor or something like that can help the team as well.
And on the other hand, you're still 26-year-old. Which are the aspects on you can keep getting better of your game?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I'm not shooting any threes really right now. It's something that I've never really done. Like even in college and high school and things, I've never really like shot threes, but I don't have like a bad shot. Like my form isn't bad. Melvin tells me all the time that, you know, you can shoot, shoot. So I guess that's something like in my head, I gotta kind of get like out of my comfort zone and you know, shoot a couple, you know, and it's tough. Like I've never been asked to shoot threes, so I've never done it, you know, and that's something like maybe I'm limiting myself as a player, not shooting those. So I guess that there's an aspect, and then you know, physically, you know, I'm 6'8", you know, 6'8" or 6'9". Only. But in basketball world, it's sure. Only, you know. So, you know, just trying to be like the best physical player I can be as far as like giving energy, you know, going to the rebounds, you know, being, you know, pushing, being strong, and then that aspect of the game is I have to be. You know, I have to try my artist because, you know, I'm not 7 feet. I'm not, you know what I mean? So in that area, trying to be the best you can be. So
maybe in other parts of the season with Cameron in more confidence, we can see you shooting threes.
We'll see. No, I mean, it just has to come naturally. It has to come within the flow of the offense, you know, maybe at the end of a shot clock or something like that. But, yeah, it's just not an area that I've really ever focused on. And So it will take like a couple off seasons of good, consistent work to me to like really find it. I think.
Like talking about your second stage here in Lleida, how did this occur? You had the idea of coming back if there was the possibility. It was an offer that arrived to you like a little bit. I wouldn't say as an unexpected way, but maybe in a moment which you were not that confident that this would arrive.
No, I mean, obviously last year in Palencia, Lleida was saying, hey, you know, we need a center. Would you, you know, they were talking to me last year, and then the off season hit, and it was, you know, I had talked with Gerard for like pretty much right after the Final Four in Madrid from last year, and he was, you know, saying that it's, you know, a possibility that we want you to come back, and things just kind of developed over a couple weeks, and they had made me an offer, and I'll, you know, be a fool to turn it down to come play in this league and come back to a team that I know in a city that I know. So it was an easy choice.
I know here I am not impartial, but I think that Barris Nord was like the best stage in LEP, but you've come back like after 1 year and some months, and now it's one of the best stages in the whole ACB. Like the team has grown, you as a player have grown, but also like the club, the structure, people around it have also like grown.
For sure, no, 100%. I mean, you know, 2 years ago there would be, you know, we played Estudiantes. It was like it is now.
Yeah.
You know, we still had great fans. I'm not saying that it wasn't, but you know, if it was a game where we were going to kind of win, maybe not as many people would show up, you know. But now it's
like that part, for example, with
exactly,
Dragon Camp, it was not open.
Right,
normally.
exactly. But even 2 years ago, no matter how many people we had, you could still hear, you know, you could still hear them and still get the energy from them. But now, like you said, the club has grown. Everybody's just kind of from here to here. You know, they've taken it up a notch. Obviously, with the Nuclear Bordeaux, they're, you know, unbelievable during these home games and even on the road. I mean, you look at Barcelona, Badalona. You know, the amount of people that travel has been great, man. Ressa as well. I know they did something with the tickets or something. They didn't give us as many tickets, but it's a smaller stadium. So, but yeah, the fans, the home court advantage is real for sure.
Apart from Loyola, has it been the place where you have felt like more, I would say, loved or like
right. No, for sure. I mean, in Japan, it's just different. The type of fans, like there are a lot of fans that come to the games, but they're not, you know, chanting the whole game, and they're giving energy in different ways there. So yeah, for sure here, even 2 years ago and this year, for sure the best fans that I've ever been a part of and played
I was asking, sorry.
But yeah, Palencia was good as well. I think that they had good fans, and it's neck and neck for sure. But obviously, I never got to witness Palencia and ACB, so you know, I think once you know the club gets to that level and they win and things, people, you know, not that they care more, but it starts to become more real. You know, you're in the top league. You're going to play, you know, the best teams at home and things like that. So that's a better opportunity than, you know, maybe a Leb team that just came up from Plata. You're going to play them at home. It's kind of like, okay, you know, you still come to the game, but maybe it's not as serious or as energetic as if, you know, you play Real Madrid at home. You know what I mean?
For sure. The team has also like made a step forward on this year, and like the beginning of the season was spectacular in all terms, from the wins here against Breogán, against Granada, the win against Barcelona, against Baskonia. Did it also surprise you, the quality of the players? How good did you play those first weeks of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think from the start of the preseason, with the type of guys that we had signed and the type of team that they have created, you know, what they had like 4 or 5 guys come back from Corey, James,
From last season.
Uri, yeah,
Mikkel.
Miko, and
Maybe.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
four.
it.
Yeah, 4 guys come back. So I think that says a lot. You know, like there's a little bit more like fluidity. You know, more. They were here last year, and then obviously I was here 2 years ago. So we kind of know the club, know Gerard, know the staff. It makes it feel more like a team environment. You know, guys have been here for a couple years, and that. And then obviously signing guys like Melvin and John and Caleb, like guys that have played all over Europe, right? And I think that helped as well, kind of bring some veteran guys to the team. And then I don't think it's a surprise at all, really. You know, obviously in the preseason we had kind of a rough preseason, I would say. I wouldn't say we played great, but you know, just playing together for, you know, whatever, 8 weeks, 9 weeks. It's been now like 2.5 months or so. So still continuing to build the chemistry every day. But I don't think it was a surprise really to start the way we did. I think that we have a really solid team, and you know, if we do what we're supposed to do, we can compete with anybody.
As you may know, here in Catalonia, like Barça is the greatest sports institution. In fact, in the 90s, so almost 30 years ago, Lleida in football also won against Barça.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm still hearing people talking about that. Are you really conscious of what it means for people in Lleida to win against Barcelona in Barcelona?
No, I don't. You know, to me that, but I understand it. You know, I understand that. Obviously, in football, they're the team here in Catalonia. You know, there's a lot of Barca fans here, and guys on the staff and stuff will always be talking about the game and the Champions League and things. So, and then obviously to go and play there, you could see because we had so many people there. I mean, so many people took time to take the train, drive, you know, spend money to go see the game, you know, to shout, to cheer, to encourage us, and you know, that was a great game. But you know, it's over now. You know, that game's over, and we have to keep going. I think that, you know, we can look in the past and say, you know, hey, we beat, you know, a couple EuroLeague teams, you know, things like that, or we can look forward and say, you know, hey, look, we got to keep this level of play. We got to continue to keep this level of play, you know, so that we can, you know, reach our full potential as a team.
So I would say that this was like the top moment of the season at this moment. We have only played like 8 matches. But it's true that the last match you played before recording this interview was against UCAM Murcia, which for the result only was like the bottom rock part of this short season also. And that loss was good in some way, like to put into perspective everything you've done and say, okay, maybe we were not that good, now we are not that bad, so like let's put the energy again and maybe resemble as a group and take it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, what was it? We were 4-2 or something like that.
Yeah, we were 4-2.
And you look at the standings, you know, at the end of the week, and you're like, oh, we're in 6, you know, it's, you know, and then you start saying like, oh, well, we should beat this team. Not saying that, but you look at the table and you go, oh, we're playing a team that's in 12th or whatever it is. And you can't do that in this league, you know, everybody knows that. And just because they're where they are, it's because it's so tough. You know, it's obviously you're playing against really, really good competition. So, like you said, in a way, you know, you never want to lose like that. You know, obviously as a player, that's not the goal. That's not the competitor in you doesn't want that to happen. But, you know, like you said, it's a wake-up call, a little bit of a wake-up call. You know, hey, we need to get back to, you know, playing our style, our brand of basketball, and not letting, you know, other teams dictate what we're going to do and play, you know, our brand. So I think that there's a refocus that happens when that type of game happens. And ultimately it's good for sure to kind of bring you, you know, full circle in the league and things like that. Anybody can beat anybody, you know. I mean, we proved that against, you know, Baskonia, Barca, but also anybody can really beat somebody, you know, and we, you know, so Mercy obviously came in here and showed that. So yeah, we got to refocus and we got to find our way.
We talked before about this comparison between LEB and ACB, because it's only one stage of difference, but in terms of every aspect, it's 4, 5, 6 degrees. Like it's a very huge step. And like related to your concrete game, we've seen you that in some situations in LEB you were really dominant. For example, like in the back post.
Sure.
But these years, or these first games, also you also need that time of adaptation, maybe.
Sure.
You seem to suffer a little bit. What would you think? Which would you say that are like the biggest differences between the defenses in LEB in ACB apart from the physicality?
Yeah, I mean, I think the spacing is much tighter. You know, obviously in the LEB, like they collapse the paint a lot. But in here, you know, in ACB, it's maybe they don't collapse as much, but the guys that are collapsing are, you know, 211 or whatever it is in centimeters. So, you know, 6'8", 6'9", 6'10".
Quicker also, maybe.
Quicker as well. So like the spacing, the timing of things is much faster and much different. So you know, in LEB, and it's not a knock on LEB, but normally on a LEB team, there's maybe 1 or 2 guys that maybe aren't the greatest shooters, you know, or guys that you can, you know, sag off of or not help off of a lot. Whereas in ACB, there's not as much of that, you know, like everybody can shoot, everybody besides maybe 5 men, you know, maybe there's not I haven't played everybody in the league yet, but so far there hasn't been like a 5-man that's like this great shooter from 3. But you know, 1 through 4 is everybody could shoot, everybody could space the floor. So there's that difference. And then yeah, the rebound is much more difficult in ACB. A lot of like the 2s and the 3s will crash the glass a lot. And you know, in the LEB, it's just different. It's more kind of like the 4s and 5s, whereas in ACB it's 2, 3, 4, and 5 come try to get rebounds. You know, you see a lot of guys like taller wings try to get rebounds. So there's the aspect in that. It's not necessarily only the center's job for rebounding, you know what I mean? Or the 4-man's job for rebounding. Like literally everybody has to come and make an effort to try and get rebounds.
And do you feel that you are still on that period of adaptation to reach your best level?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, there's been some good games for me and some games where I've struggled, and that's normal for basketball. You know, I mean, you work, you know, whatever. We have practice every day during the week. You know, you work practice for a 2-hour game. You know, a 2 hour and 15-minute game where you got to perform. You know, and then when you don't play to the standard that you know you hold yourself to, you got to try to do something different, right? You know, you got to try to work harder or work smarter or anything like that. So, you know, there's been good games and bad games for myself and for the team, you know, and I think the most important thing is to win, you know. It's a lot better to score 0 points and win the game than to score 20 points and lose the game, you know. So, you know, I think as a team, we just have to kind of find that. And you know, my performance is dictated sometimes by the team. You know, if everybody's playing their best game, that says to you as a player say, all right, well, I need to bring it, you know, and so I think you know, as a team, when we play the right way and play together, you know, everybody benefits. And in a game where it's maybe, you know, we're not playing to our capabilities, everybody struggles, you know.
When we talk about the team this year, I've told you before that last year we struggled with like the center position. This year there has been an upgrade. And I don't know if you agree, but we always say that one of the biggest, the most positive things about it is that you are like 3 centers, Gigi, Atuman, and you, that you have like very different qualities. Like Gigi can play wide, can play open, can shoot threes. Atuman physically, he's a monster, and you can like move the team around you also in a very good way. So do you think that this is a thing that also strengthens the team?
Yeah, I think you know, sometimes it's just the like teams makeups, right? Usually some teams have only two centers, where one center is like, the starter, and one is more of the, backup. But in the pros, it doesn't really matter, starting and backup. But like, we have three, so it's like we can mismatch and pick the matchups for the games and things. I don't know what the minutes are, but me, Gigi, and Atu, we're playing around 15 minutes each. So there's times in the games where coach can go with whatever style he wants, and I think that is an advantage. Not having just kind of like one main guy and like a guy that maybe is a backup or whatever you want to call it, but having three centers that can all play and all contribute is definitely an advantage, I would say. Just to be able to play different matchups and different schemes that you want.
And has it been difficult for you? Like in the last 2-3 seasons, you used to play in between 20-25 minutes. This year, between, as you said, you, Gigi, and Atumandi's 40 minutes. So it's like between
Right.
12 and 15 for each one. Do you feel right about it, or is it difficult for you to enter in some parts of the game because you haven't had like this momentum?
I mean, I would say that 12 minutes in ACB is equivalent to a lot of leagues playing 20 minutes. The intensity, the pace is very, very high. Yeah, sure, every player wants to play 20 plus minutes a game, but it's not the reality. You have to try to make your minutes count. My coach would tell me this in college all the time: make your minutes count, don't count your minutes. So, if I'm going to play 8 minutes, I got to go in and try to make those the best 8 minutes I can play. If I'm going to play 25 minutes, I got to try to play the best 25 minutes I can play. So I think in having three bigs, sometimes there's games where you might play less than the other two, or you might play more than the other two. It just depends on the game. I think that's an advantage. Coach can kind of play to the guy who's playing the best in that game. We have three options, and maybe one game there's better matchups for me, one game there's better matchups for Gigi, the other Atu. It doesn't matter. I think that gives us a little bit of an advantage in being able to mix match the matchups.
I would say that in your first season here, you had that role on the court as the silent leader, I would like to say, because quietly you were doing your job and contributing to the team. Now you play with players with a higher level, for example, Melvin, James, Caleb. They have all been in really good teams. Which is your specific role into the team this year?
Yeah, I mean, I would say my role is different than in previous years. I mean, obviously in Palencia last year and in Lleida here, I was more of a main guy. Obviously more of a guy that, like you said, silent leader type of organize the team and things like that. And now this year it's more, I got to provide energy. I got to be defensively. I got to be on my game. I got to really try and like you say, kind of create space for my teammates, set good screens, roll, rebound, that type of stuff. And then I got to play my game. I think there's times where high post, outside, making passes and things like that works against some teams and other teams not. I think, against Murcia, they were really, they really were spread out, and it was just the big man was off and the guard was, they were just playing 2-on-2, and then so that they kind of got us with that scheme. So, my role is just, do whatever the team needs me to do to win and try to connect the guys, connect the players on and off the court to be the best team we could be.
We talked about the locker room previously, about the last season here in Lab. How is this season the locker room? We have the impression that you have a really good quality, that is, there are lots of families, of grown-ups, of people with like their children.
For sure.
It's a thing that...
Yeah. I mean, I've never played on a team with this many dads.
Yeah.
So like, I guess it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Guys are serious, about their work, about basketball, but also we can have fun. I think that the camaraderie in the locker room has really grown over the last month. I would say. We're starting to get comfortable with each other. You know, every year it's like a lot of guys are playing on a new team. They're in a new team, a new city, a new coach, everything like that. So sometimes guys are guarded a little bit to start the year, you know, and then as the year goes on, and you start to get more comfortable, like you open up, you start to talk, you start, you know, joking around, you start to, you know, learn about the staff and learn about the coaches. You're with each other a lot. And I think like our team dynamic has really grown in the last, you know, month and a half, and it's getting better and better and better. And I think, you know, every day showing up to Barris is fun. You know, you come in here, you work, you know, guys are having a good time, but also serious, getting our work done, competing against each other. You know, it's a really good team dynamic. Very, very good. No bad apples, no guys that are, you know, like selfish or have ego or anything like that. I think that's a big piece to having a good team is, you know, nobody is like, oh, me, you know, and I think that's important.
Last year, when it was rumored that you could maybe come back, a topic that was talking about was related to your passport. You were like,
Right.
that was said that you were like trying to obtain an European passport. How, in which stage, if you can explain, obviously,
Yeah.
Is this process nowadays?
Yeah, so last year in last November, Palencia allowed me to go home to apply. So I applied last November, in the late November, and in that appointment they said it will take like a year and a half to 2 years to get. So right now it's been about a year. I'm working with some lawyers in Croatia. My papers are been turned in. The papers are legit, like through my wife's family. Her great-grandfather came from Croatia to the United States. She's got all the documents, all the legal stuff. So at this point, we're hoping that it's just a matter of time to get the papers. But you know, we're relying on governments and bureaucracy and, you know, all that stuff. So it could be slow, it could be fast. You don't know. So we have a message in with our lawyers about, you know, the checking on the status of it and everything. But right now, it's just kind of at the mercy of the government over there.
And the last questions, Cameron, first of all, I ask to every player that comes here, but which are the goals for this season?
I think that we've shown as a team how we can play. You know, playing against some of the higher level teams in the league, and you know, staying with them and competing and winning some games. I think obviously the main goal is to stay out of the last spot. You know, I think that everybody knows that. That goes without being said, but it's a goal. I mean, you know, we're in a good position now, but you know, week by week, the games don't get any easier. You know, the games every week is a battle. Every week is tough. So I think the goal is day to day to put your best self forward and try to be the best player you can be within the team, and you know, try to grow as a team and as a player. And you know, if we find our way into, you know, the cup or into the playoffs, we find our way in. But I wouldn't say that you know, we've got these goals where it's like, you know, we need X amount of wins, or you know what I mean. We have to take it day by day, week by week, and matchup by matchup. So, you know, you can never count anything in this league. You know, you have to come ready to play every day.
And you have the contract for 2 years here in Lleida. Do you see yourself here in long term?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, I have a great relationship with the coaches, with the staff, with the club. I think, you know, being here, very comfortable. I would like to stay for as many years as they'll have me. I think just continuing to grow myself in ACB and trying to, you know, put my best self forward is important. And yeah, I mean, I would like to stay, but you know, you never know. And if there's one thing I learned in European basketball is, you know, you never know. You never know. I've been through some stuff to where it's, you know, obviously with Betis and things, you know, I was playing well and circumstances out of your control. So you just kind of have to keep keep a level head and put your best foot forward and see what can happen.
I think that it would be like a really beautiful thing. A wish for us that we could continue like lots of years here in ACB.
For sure.
Also with you. We've asked some of our fan base to ask some questions for you. I will only read a little of them because some, a great part of them we have been talking about. And these minutes, one with this photo asks if you can bring back the mustache, please.
That's a classic photo, man.
And for example, we said that, for example, one person here asks, says, sorry, hey Cameron, I'm a big fan of your dad's X account. Please send him regards.
Okay, I will. My dad doesn't know what he's doing on Twitter, man.
Yeah, but I have heard that he's pretty active.
I think so. I don't look into it much, but he's got a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah.
He's retired now, so he's got a lot of time and doing whatever he does.
This is dangerous in some way.
Yeah.
And more or less, I think that we have said all the questions that are here. So now we, as a project, as a podcast, we want to give you a little reward for you to remember. This is our T-shirt. It's 2XL. I hope that this suits you.
Good.
If you don't care, I will open it just to show it to the camera. This, I think, is yours, Cameron. Let me first show this shirt. This is Gent del Barris, which is our podcast. It means people from Barris Nord.
Nice.
And here on the back part is like the most important stages of the club. In 2012 it was born, the year of the first promotion, when we went back, the arrival of Gerard, ACB, the beginning of our podcast. And as you can see, in 2026, the team goes up. So we hope that this is a good year for this next level for the club. Okay?
All right.
And we also ask to the people that come here to bring some detail to like share with our
I got
listeners.
a shirt from my college. Obviously, good part of my my career, my life here spent at Loyola. So got a shirt for you guys, man. And yeah, I mean, it was a special time in my life, and I really appreciate everything Loyola's done for me. So
we can do an exchange.
Let's do it. A little jersey swap.
So excellent, Cameron. It has been an absolute pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you.
All those minutes, because it has been a long talk.
No, all good.
And as I always said, you have the opportunity to like end these conversations, like addressing any message you want to our fan base ahead of the game, for example, of the Saturday against, I will say it, against Unicaja. Thank you.
No, a big thank you to everybody. You know, it's the support, the energy you guys give us is special, and I think as a player, it makes it easier to play in an environment like this than it is to, you know, go play in a game where there's no fans, or, you know, the energy's kind of dead. It makes it a little tougher. So, and then that's just not for me. I think that I'm speaking for everybody on the team that says that you know, we really appreciate your guys' support, everything you guys do, and the energy you guys bring on game days and in the stands and everything. Definitely, and obviously I feel this a little more, the sense of community, the sense of, you know, the sense of home, the sense of togetherness that you guys bring us, and that the club and everyone at the club brings is special, and I just say thank you.
So thank you for everything, and see you on Saturday.
Yes.
Sempre amb la força Lleida, l'orgull de la ciutat, l'equip dels nostres cors, tornem a la CB però ningú pot quedar-nos. I gent del barri per explicar-ho, força Lleida, visca Trinidad i Tobago. Les anècdotes patrocinadors. Gràcies per acompanyar-nos en aquest viatge. Ens ho passarem bé encara que ens deixem el fetge. Risoteràpia per un doble amb els soldats d'encuentre. Som cavall guanyador tot i que el port no es paga part, però tenim mites i Ferrança, Teda i Nojo. Som gent del barris, som del Força Lleida. Visca Trinitat i Tobago.